Hello, kiddies. Welcome to Gags from the Crypt.
Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to episode 175 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. Today, I'm joined by Mondo, now in Technicolor.
Hello.
Hello. And joining us from the Who's There podcast, we have our good friend, Allison.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, always a pleasure. Jody's having some internet issues. They're still trying to get the wires and the tubes and things to work out there. Hopefully he'll be able to join us.
Where Jody lives, to get a hold of anybody, the first thing you have to do is you have to take a tin can. You tie it in two strings and you throw it really far. And whoever catches it throws it to the next person. You write the name on the inside of who you're trying to get to. And eventually you'll get there.
Right. But Allison, what's going on with Who's There? It's been a minute since you've been on, so just give us a refresher. And you've had some great guests on lately, so go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's been a good year. I think I put out an episode a week last year, and I got to have Mike Flanagan on, which was super fun.
Yes.
Earlier in January, I had Clay McLeod Chapman on, who just came out with a new book, so that was super fun. I talked to just a lot of people, and they're all great. I had William Brent Bell on back in 2023, but still, I spoke to, Marcus Dunstan, who wrote hashtag AmFad, which was a pretty good slasher last year. And yeah, so I don't know what's coming up this year, but I'm trying to get some people on, but we'll see. I'm just a one person.
And you've been expanding to like doing little newsletters and just more like little updates and stuff. Those are really fun. I enjoy those. Yeah.
It's so fun. I also miss a lot of news throughout the month. So when I'm going and I'm making it, I'm like, oh, hey, that's happening too. And we're going to talk about Scream 7 at the end, right?
Yes. So one of the big reasons I wanted to have Allison on, because her, like me, and especially Jody, we're all huge Scream fans. Mono, I think you're a relatively newer Scream fan, but
yeah, I mean, I saw the original when it came out, obviously, and then I kind of went back through them before I watched number 6. But I was never like, to me, it wasn't as prominent in my young horror viewing as it was for a lot of people. So I enjoyed it, but I didn't have the fanaticism for it.
Yeah, that's the movie that got. Well, we'll get to it in a minute, but that's the movie that really opened up my eyes to horror. That's the movie that got me into horror, into more modern horror. And we'll, again, putting a pin in that because we have a whole episode. We're gonna talk about that after our review. Just a little teaser. There's been some huge news this week, so I can think of anyone better to have on to talk about that and kind of speculate, because that's all we can do at this moment. Some Scream news and even more your t-shirts.
Yeah, my t-shirt says Scream 3 rules. So
you're one of the few people that I think have that opinion. So I need someone to fill out.
I said this when I was watching them, and I actually tagged Allison on this on Slack. I said Scream 3 was very enjoyable. I had a great time with Scream 3. So I will also vouch for Scream 3. It's a fine sequel.
Yeah, I mean, they called out Harvey Weinstein many years before anyone else did.
I think it's a good Hollywood movie. I don't think it's a good Scream movie. That's a whole other discussion. We're not getting into that. We'll talk about all the Scream news in a minute after our review. I also want to say I had a great time at CreepyCon in Ontario, California this weekend, hanging out with Al Katz at his booth and meeting a lot of new Crypt fans. So anyone that's new to the podcast I met there, it's great to meet you. And
isn't Al the sweetest? Al is the sweetest guy. Al is just the nicest human being. Like,
we had a lot of fun.
And Gil. They're such nice guys.
And Gil, Okay, but today we are talking Creepshow We're in season 3, episode 2. This episode came out September 30th, 2021. The first segment is directed by Greg Nicotero. It is called Skeletons in the Closet. Since Jody was a last minute dropout, I just got a very short summary, but we'll get more into it. But to set us off, a man named Lapini or Lampini, and I'm already off to a great start, is a passionate movie prop collector, and he inherits his late father's collection and opens a museum in Hollywood featuring real skeletons used in famous films. But his plans are threatened by rival collector Mr. Bateman, who blackmails him by claiming the skeletons were grave robbed. When Bateman tries to expose Lampini, his girlfriend kills him, and they add his skeleton to the collection, only for Bateman's skeleton to come alive and wreak havoc on the museum using other props, ultimately being defeated by Lapini's father's skeleton, who joins the fight. Okay, Allison, start us off. What did you think of this segment?
Very silly. The concept of this museum was like very dark, and it kind of gave me the same vibes as the Museum of Death did when I went to the one when I was in LA a couple months ago. But yeah, I don't know. It was just very silly. I have nothing else to say.
Mondo.
I absolutely loved this segment. It was definitely fan service for horror movie nerds. And anytime you give me a Ray Harryhausen style skeleton fight, I am in. But the best part about this episode is the fact that the dad skeleton still has the ponytail. He's got a skeleton. He's got the skeleton. I love the fact that he had to have dissolved this man's body and basically treated to be a skeleton, but for some reason decided to give it a little wig, or maybe it's real hair, and just paste it back on there. So that's pretty wild to me. I absolutely love that, and the storyline too about her. The guy ends up being like not a good person, obviously, because he lets his girlfriend kill this person, and then like kind of blames her for everything, and then kind of like gaslights her about what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna remind everybody who haven't gone back from the beginning. I once asked a question to Jason and Jody that if their wife had killed somebody and came home, would they turn them in? Jason said he would. Jody said he'd have to think about it.
I said it depends on who she killed and why.
I was the only ride or die. I'm just going to point that out. So, I mean, if my significant other had to kill someone in that situation, we're just going to either go down together or neither of us going down.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. There was some very fun moments. I mean, so basically there's this museum filled with all kinds of horror movie memorabilia. And I know Greg Nicotero talked about this publicly, and I emailed him to confirm that a lot of it is real from his personal collection. So there's like the mask from Jason Goes to Hell. So I'm almost certain that's the real. I think all the ones like in the glass that you just kind of see are probably to some degree real props.
I do love Jason's very casual name dropping. Yeah, I emailed him to confirm. Well, no big deal.
If you're gonna get it from the source.
But
like
I respect that. I just love the casualness of the name drop.
But they have like they have the cup from the Last Crusade, the literal Holy Grail, just sitting on the table. I'm like, okay, that's probably a fabrication or whatever, but it's a fun pull because I freaking love that movie. And the sphere from Phantasm, like they recreate that kill. So there's a lot of really great fan servicey, but we're fans, service us moments that I really enjoyed. The parts that were silly were the characters. Like it reminded me a lot of The Babysitter, how like the Samara Weaving character and the boy, whoever it is, they just like talking movie quotes back and forth to each other to a really obnoxious extent. And that's how that main neck beardy guy is, a guy who has a beard in the neck.
Thanks for mansplaining that.
Exactly.
I didn't know what a neck beard was. I didn't know what it was, so I'm thankful that a man taught me.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. That character drove me really nuts. So like that character I really not like. I love James Remar. I'll see him anytime, especially when he's kind of camping it up. as Mr. Bateman, Mr. Patrick Bateman, perhaps.
Yeah.
The girlfriend I thought she was pretty cool. She had the shoe knife blade thing from I think it was Dr. No. Is that the one that's from Mondo?
I think it was Dr. No, but it reminded me of was also a shoe knife situation in Ichi the Killer.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. But again, if that was the real prop, I don't think he'd be letting her walk around like every day wearing that shoe, because that's like that I'm sure worth a lot of money. I actually last year or so joined like a really serious movie prop group on Facebook. And yeah, like that's right. I sent you someone had one of the pinball uniform like costumes from the dance sequence in Big Lebowski. They have like all the pins like coming up on the headdress and stuff. It was like $5,000 or something like that. Like insane amounts of money.
Which probably reasonable for something like that. Like who knows?
What's up?
It's probably reasonable for something like that.
No, it's these guys like they're fair, but yeah, it's a really expensive hobby. So I just joined the group just to see what they have, and just to be kind of fly on the wall, because I can't really afford anything. Like that's where I got like the Crypt cover from. That was like the one thing I could really afford. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I kind of wish it would have been like the season opener instead of the last week one, because this is just a really good, like, again, fan servicey episode to kind of get us into it. I rather enjoyed it overall, though, except for some of the character stuff.
Yeah, this is one that I actually hadn't seen before. I don't think I ever got this far into the series when it was on, so it was a real kind of fun treat to watch.
It's kind of fun that Josh Mallerman is a writer on this episode, and he's a big horror writer now. He's had a lot of books be published. So he wrote the book the book Bird Box. So the yeah. So
the book was so much better. The book was so much better than the movie, and I didn't hate the movie, but the book was way better.
Oh, I liked the movie ish. I haven't read the book.
Yeah, so. The movie's good. The movie's fine.
Yeah. I like them. It definitely felt made for streaming, but other than that, I liked it.
Yeah, but speaking of props, one of my friends, he has in his apartment a mannequin bust with Emma Roberts' bloody shirt from Scream 4. Cool. So, and I'm like, what do women think when you bring them home?
Well, that's how you know if it's the right one or not. Are they repulsed by it, or do they have questions? Like that's
yeah.
That's a hell of a litmus test.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, that's my last date. Oh, and then you gotta leave. So
I mean, how would you react to
Roberts, though? It kind of depends.
You was a Scream fan, you'd be like, oh crap, I told you more about your Scream bloody shirt.
No, I would probably not go back to some random guy's apartment. I've watched horror movies. I'm sorry. Not
there's like a woman in that Facebook group that is a huge Scream fan, and she has like her whole house is full of Scream memorabilia, like costumes, and ghost face things. Like it's pretty crazy. She shows pictures pretty often.
So, if you guys have ever seen the 40-year-old virgin, his apartment is kind of like how my house looks, just action figures everywhere and movie posters, and but I'm married, so it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have to impress anyone anymore.
Yeah, we made this weird little domicile together. So
I've heard that Ed Sanchez's house is like filled with like Star Wars memorabilia.
Oh, cool.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when we used to watch Cribs and stuff, and then you'll like see Rob Zombie's house with all the cool Universal Monster stuff.
Yeah.
Or Guillermo del Toro. All right. The second segment is called Familiar. A man named Jackson begins to experience strange occurrences after inheriting a seemingly ordinary antique doll from his deceased aunt, which is revealed to be a haunted object with a dark history. Is this the right one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Causing him to be stalked and tormented by a sinister presence tied to the doll, and ultimately forcing him to confront the evil forces surrounding it.
Are we sure it's the right one?
Yeah. That's
yeah.
I feel like I didn't watch it. It's like, I have a very distinct feeling that I forgot to watch the second part of this.
I remember him sitting in a chair and then having a box hanging over a little animal toy, and then he says something and the box falls and the thing is in there, and then it's has the sound like his girlfriend, but he dumps it into the water, and then he gets back to his apartment, and I don't want to.
No, we
we'll
spoiled
spoil
here,
it.
so that's fine.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then
That's about 4
his
years ago.
drenched girlfriend is sitting there with like the devil behind him. I think that is how it went. So
This is great. We all did a great job.
Yeah, I think we're all conflating for an episode. I have like a really long synopsis. Okay, essentially, there's a guy who's a lawyer named Jackson. He has a girlfriend who's a sculptor, and she makes like a little.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. It's the
and he
sculptor
goes
now.
to a psychic. His girlfriend drags him to a psychic who tells him something dark is following him. Yada yada yada. There's some demonic presence that keeps showing up around him. He's trying to get rid of it. And he tells him that he can draw a circle to try to trap it, and you've got to put a thing on it. Except the first time his dog ran in there, so now he has to like keep his dog out. And then the second time he does it, he hears his girlfriend in there, but now he thinks it's the demon trying to fake him out. But turns out actually it is his girlfriend, which is a very Tales from the Crypt twist. And then she comes back kind of ghoulish to haunt him as well. What's cool, and I didn't realize that at first, is the girlfriend is played by the woman from VHS, the Siren, or the Succubus from the first VHS
Fireman?
movie. Yes.
Yeah. I've only seen like one or two VHSs, so
The VHS are very hit or miss. There's some that,
okay,
but
it
they
is her.
usually have at least
IMDb is
one
telling me it's her.
good segments.
Oh, and she is one of the main characters in my friend Mary Beth McAndrew's new movie that just came onto VOD, Bystanders. That's why she looked familiar.
I picked it up on VOD and I have not watched it yet, but it's on.
Okay.
It's ready to go.
Yep.
All right, Mondo, since you're tell us what you thought about this episode.
And I remember once you brought up the pottery thing, but then I kind of zoned out and don't remember much about this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say I remember. I think it was okay. I'm just failing you tonight, Jason. I apologize. It's been a long January, right?
It's not January anymore.
Yeah.
Thank Christ, because January was
Thank
like 3.
God.
I aged 5 years in January. I'm pretty sure.
It's been a long February.
Yeah, actually it has. I will give you this as well. It's been a
Right,
long
Allison.
dystopian nightmare. Sorry.
This was. I just think the acting was not great, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be good in these. Yeah, it was okay. I liked is it the girlfriend or is it the devil trying to trick him at the end?
Yeah.
But otherwise I was like, it's a little slow. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
the effects were cool, the demon and all that. That looked cool.
Yeah.
I think you make a really good point that the really memorable part is the part with the girlfriend in the box. They really should have gone to that much quicker and then made more tension out of that. That would have been a really fun kind of back and forth episode of, is it really her? Is it not her? And then like it is her, but then he's got to get away with it. That kind of situation. I would have more focused on that part of the story to kind of draw out more tension.
It had Drag Me to Hell vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about Creepshow and crates, but it loves a good crate. There's always a crate showing up somewhere in these.
You know, in Creepshow, one of the best parts about that movie is there's a lot of great things about that movie, but it's
the crate. Yeah,
it's always a crate.
This was actually my first time watching any of these. So
no.
I was going to ask you, have you seen the movies at all?
No. No,
I would argue the first movie's a must see, but I don't know if it's going to cater much to your tastes.
Yeah, I'm not really into anthology horror much because I like there to just be one drawn out story that's really well told. And I know you can have really good short segments, but
but I would at least say, like, even if it's not your thing, this is a very good version of that thing. So it might be a better entry point in that respect. I would say it gets referenced so much in other stuff and other conversations. It's worth watching just so you can be in the know.
Yeah.
I would say it's the best version of an anthology ever done. realistically, and it's kind of like they nailed it, and everything after that was trying to be what Creepshow did. And don't get me wrong, there's been some really fun anthologies, some really stuff I've really enjoyed, but there's also been a lot of not so good anthologies too.
Like anything, there's always, the cream of the crop, and then everything else just kind of doesn't have that magic. I mean, we got Stephen King writing and George Romero directing. Like, come on.
And Stephen King acting.
And
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen in the same one. Yeah.
And the one guy whose name I can never remember from the crate.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
Famous actor. Yeah, he just passed away, I think, not too long ago too. But yeah, it's that Creepshow's Creepshow 2, not as good. Creepshow 3.
I kind of like Creepshow 2 as like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Shout out if anybody wants to go back. We do have reviews up for both. Both with Eric of Bloody Good Horror fame.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun fact, one of my friends that I met at a past job, her parents met working on Creepshow.
Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And the music for Creepshow is very, very good.
I've said it before, but the fact that guy just made a couple bangers of a soundtracks. He made that one, and he did Day of the Dead. Yeah. And then just that was it. That's all he did.
Well, no, he went to directing.
Soundtrack. Yeah, but I mean, man, I wish he'd keep making soundtracks.
All right. So between these two, Allison, what's your preference?
I think the first one. That resonated because it's catering more towards horror fans. I didn't love it, but it's just, I think it's more accessible.
Mondo.
Being that I could almost not remember the second one, that's how memorable it was. We were going to record earlier in the week, and I made the mistake of watching it then. So it's been 3 years since Wednesday. So I don't remember exactly everything on this. But
3 years and 3 plane collisions.
As a guy that's on an airplane like 20 to 40 times a year for work, it's a little concerning. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I have quibbles like I do with everything, but yeah, the first one is definitely better.
Yeah.
Second one has some promise that could have been drawn out, but yeah,
it wasn't bad to where it makes. If it was bad, I definitely remember it. I think it was just mainly forgettable.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because you forgot it.
Yeah, I don't remember any. I remember the pottery. I remember like that guy handing him the note and saying, "You brought something in with you" or something like that, and that's all I remember. The whole episode.
Well, in case you want to read more about it, Mondo, I put a link to a Reddit thread in the chat. So
okay, that's amazing.
All right. Well, before we move on, let's do a shout out.
Hey, this is Jamie Kennedy. You're listening to Dads from the Crypt. You're pushing it. Hey.
That was cool.
Oh, Jamie. Yeah, he did a take and then he flubbed it. So I asked him if he would do another one. So he wasn't very happy with me.
Really? He seems happy.
No, he was fine. He was playing it up.
He's too high. He's too high to not be happy.
Yeah. And that again ties into our upcoming Scream discussion. But before we do that, Mondo, what's your song of the day?
I'm just gonna keep riding this wave of stuff that's defies our local, not our local, but our current situation here in America. So this is by a band called Woe. That's right, Woe. WOE. Off their album Hope Attrition. The song is called Drown Us with Greatness.
Oh, God.
And if you read the lyrics, it could be about some narcissistic people that have a lot of power right now in this world. And I will leave it at that to not get into a political rant, the likes that no one on this podcast has ever heard before. Or listening to the podcast has heard before. But yeah, check them out. Woe's a really good black metal band. I believe came right here from the US. So they have their much like Jason has his quibbles with everything, they have quibbles with the way the country is being run and by what's happening around the world. So check them out. Whoa, Hope Attrition.
I think it's healthy.
You know, I mean, art has always kind of been a window into what was going on politically and socially at the times, be it music, be it horror. So it's like this album came out in 2017, so I'll just put it that way. And I think it's not hard to cut the dots as to who is drowning us with greatness in this world. So check them out. Whoa, Drown Us with Greatness off Hope Attrition. Great band and cool band.
Now, is that like whoa as in sadness or whoa as in like Keanu Reeves? Like whoa.
Oh, I spelled it earlier and you weren't paying attention, but it's WOE. So however you pronounce that, Jason. If you pronounce that whoa, then it's that. If you pronounce it whoa.
Whoa-wee.
No, you should know by now I don't pay attention to the chat because I'm focusing on the show.
Jason's locked in. Jason's I take my job.
As I have my phone out. All right. Well, since Jody's not here, but we have some major horror news to talk about, we're going to get right into it. Yeah, as I said, Scream. When I was a kid, I watched like Godzilla movies and Universal monster movies. I was never really into modern horror per se, like contemporary. But Scream was the one that like really opened the doors for me to get into all of that. I saw it 3 times in the theater. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that many times, especially in 1 week. And 2 of those were back to back because my friend worked at the movie theater, so he just let us stay in the theater for the next screening. So, and I like each of the sequels in different ways, but none of them I think come close to the first one. But each one I'm always excited for.
Luckily, Jason being 30 in 1996 meant he had the money to see the movie 3 times in a row.
Hey, when Scream 3 came out in 2000, I was 14 and I had babysitting money to go see that 3 times in the theater.
It was a different time when we were young and we had free time. Oh.
All right, fast forward to 2025, and we are getting news about Scream 7 slated to come out in 2026. And I guess I couldn't keep track of who's directing it, but now it's being directed by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the script for the original Scream, and I think he did Scream 2. I don't know if he did any of the others past that.
He wrote a script for Scream 3, I believe, but then it was tossed out because they were trying to make it less gory because of Columbine.
Oh, right, yeah. So that one was written by I think some guy with the last name Kruger, ironically enough.
Oh, Aaron.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so we've had some casting news. We know Nev Campbell's back. Surprisingly, we thought they're jettisoning most of the old cast. We know Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown, who played the Meek. I don't think were they twins or brother and sister?
Twins.
Yeah. Which is Jamie Kennedy's cousins. I can't keep track.
Niece and nephew.
Niece and nephew.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know they're back, but then I think last week, before the big news this week, we were told that Joel McHale is back as not back, but is playing the character Mark, which is a different Mark than the one that we thought she was with originally from Scream 3.
Yeah.
We'll play what's his name?
Detective Kincaid.
Mr. McDreamy, whatever, Dr. McDreamy.
Patrick Dempsey.
Apparently, Patrick Dempsey. Thank you. Apparently, he wanted too much money. They didn't want him, so they just decided.
What? Give him whatever he wants. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
I like Joel McHale. He's cool.
I like Joel McHale. He was good in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
He's
as far as like that kind of genre.
Or, It's a Wonderful Knife. You mean?
A Wonderful Knife. It's a Wonderful.
It's a Wonderful Knife. Thank you.
Yeah, he was
also in the movie with the killer girl, the Nazis. Becky. Yeah.
He's really good.
Definitely get into that genre.
It's comedy, but he's in a TV show Animal Control, which I really like.
Yeah. But this week we've got some crazy ass news that Scott Foley, and we're spoiling for all this Scream movie, so I'm assuming you've seen them by now. So Scott Foley, who is the main Ghostface, the only single Ghostface from Scream 3, is back, and the Matthew frickin' Lillard from the first Scream is also back. So Allison, what's your reaction to this? Let's just rip off the Band-Aid.
So these people are already dead in the timeline.
Are
They're just
they?
going to be like they
Are
they
they?
are. Yeah, I'm going to smash a TV from 1996 on your head, and we're going to see if you survive.
I mean, Jason in his 60s wouldn't survive trying to pick up a CRT TV.
Oh my god! Now, if
but
it's
these
playing
are all-
Halloween, that might be different.
Oh yeah, because then it will also electrocute you in addition to smashing your skull in because it's so heavy.
I mean,
I
Yeah,
still got
rather
like
than
little
electrocuted.
shake and like noise he makes when it crushes him.
When his brain is being sizzled because he's dead.
So you're purely in they're dead. They're just gonna be like ghosts or something camp.
I don't know if
flashback,
they're going to be
maybe?
ghosts. They're going to be, I don't know, flashbacks.
like-
I've heard talk of people saying it's going to be AI. They're going to bring them back somehow. Like, I don't, like somebody from the past is going to be making something with them in AI. I don't know. But their characters are not alive. Scott Foley was shot in the head and the chest. He's dead. Roman is no longer with us.
maybe I think it was super meta, like New Nightmare.
Yeah,
And make
that's
it
my
so, like,
favorite
these
theory.
characters are coming.
I don't recall New Nightmare. I watched it once in like 2022. Can you remind me of like
So
what it's about?
if this was going to be, if they were going to go in that direction, it would be Neve Campbell playing herself
Mhm.
as the actress who played Sidney Prescott. And
Okay.
all the other actors in the movie are just, going about being actors in real life.
Mm.
So kind of like in Scream 3, where they're like making a movie about that. So this would be another level of meta of them making a new Scream movie, but they're all playing themselves. But then obviously someone's going to start killing off people. But
Okay.
so therefore, all the actors, it kind of wipes the slate clean.
Yeah.
So you can have all those actors running around.
Well, they've already announced that Sydney is not the main character. Her daughter is. So I don't think that will be the case.
Oh,
I
I mean,
think maybe ghosts are gonna come back to haunt her daughter.
But the people that she never
Possibly.
met. I mean, because so they already did the whole like psychological thing with Melissa Barrera's character in the last one with her
Mhm.
with Ski Ulrich. So they've already done that. So I don't think they would do that per se as like some sort of schizophrenia. If it's the daughter, she's never met these people, so how she wouldn't know them.
Yeah.
Like that Sydney Ghost Mom thing, that was by far the part I like the least about Scream 3.
Yeah.
So I really don't want them to do that. So that's why I'm kind of into this idea of it actually being, even if it's not Neve Campbell being the main character, an actress who pretending to be her real life daughter. Okay,
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
What about if her daughter is becoming an actor and she's going to play
Mhm.
her in a reboot of the Stab series?
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how all of these dead past killers are
Ooh.
going to play into that, but
No, okay. I think you're onto something there. So what if it's a Matthew Lillard playing an actor playing the Matthew Lillard character, playing Stu, like an older version? So he's a character named Steve playing Stu that happens to look exactly like Matthew Lillard.
I mean, that sounds like AI wrote the script. So I think that's
Damn.
where we are with this
Maybe I am
franchise.
AI.
Called out there.
Because we know they're in the movie. We don't know if they're actually playing the exact same character that they were in the previous movies.
Yeah.
So they could play another character that happens to look like, oh, I'm Stu's stunt double.
I don't know what the point of that would be, though. That just
That's almost the
seems-
option of fan. That's almost the opposite of fan service. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
I'm
it's trying to
gonna-
fuck with us.
It's kind of weird. I don't love it, Jason. Don't love
Yeah.
it.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just trying to come up with at least plausible
Yeah.
options.
Yeah. Courtney Cox is also coming back, and she should have died in the last one, but maybe
Yeah.
she'll die in this one.
Her or Mason Gooding should have died.
Yeah.
That pissed me off that both of them survived. And Mark Consuelos is in this one too. So
Yeah, which is weird.
in a camp. So who knows what's going on here? I mean, the movie's not even been filmed yet. So
Oh no, it's already started. They're in
oh,
production.
has it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's okay. It's not coming out though for at least
Yeah.
a whole year. Yeah, I'm interested. I've always liked Kevin Williamson. He wrote that movie last year about the COVID. It was kind of
Sick.
a COVID movie.
Sick.
Yeah, I like that
love
movie
it.
a lot.
I really liked it a lot
Sick was
too.
fun.
He didn't
Yeah.
direct that. Has he directed before?
He's directed 2 movies. I'm trying to look at his IMDb. I can't tell. Scream 7, Teaching Mrs. Tingle from 1999. I remember
Teaching
that
Mrs.
movie.
Tingle, which is actually a really fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun movie. So yeah, at least those are my theories. I love New Nightmare. That's such a great concept. So I'd love if they did something kind of like that. It's just a kind of fun way to like kind of wipe things a little bit clean, and that's what they kind of do with the Nightmare because it's so entangled at that point. They just need to take it up on that level. And also, again, the first one was directed and at least co-written, I think, by Wes Craven. So it's like kind of coming back to his idea.
Yeah.
So that's a fun
Full
tribute.
circle. Yeah, I just hope everybody has a good time.
That's very diplomatic.
Hey, you
He
know
just
what?
wants
Like,
everyone to be friends and
Yeah,
learn something
I
about
just
each other in
hope
the
people
end.
enjoy
He wants everyone to be the winner.
the true gift is the knowledge we gain in the end.
Is it?
No, I don't know. It depends. I mean, we've done a lot. We've done a lot of fucking around and finding out in the past couple months. So
Yeah. I'm done finding out. So
yeah, let's go back to the fuck around part. That was the better part.
Man, I saw I saw a t-shirt at the convention yesterday that had a Ouija board on it and it said fuck around on the top.
Love it.
Wait, did you say a Luigi board?
A Ouija board.
Oh, okay.
I would
Was it
love
a-
a Waluigi board.
Was it a man or a woman wearing that shirt?
They were selling it. It was like the
Oh,
booth
they were
next to the
selling
mall.
it. Okay. I would
So they
love
had
to wear
that.
that shirt, but I feel like it would be inviting bad attention.
Yeah.
So this is the most, again, shout out to our friend Caitlin that Plug It Up. This is the most Plug It Up like row of t-shirts they had. They also had another one that had the Hole cover from remember the album Hole Live Through This, the album cover from the 90s.
No.
Okay,
sorry.
I'm too old for you guys.
I know.
Anyways, it had it's a picture of a woman kind of like in a prom pose, but it had Carrie on it. Like, yeah, it was a Carrie reference. So they had a Carrie reference and the Ouija board next to each other. So I sent a picture to Caitlin. She was very excited. I even offered to buy her one, but she said she has too many. So
Caitlin has a giant wall of Ouija board.
I know.
It's pretty badass.
All right. Well, again, that's our speculation on Scream. We don't know what the hell's going on. I'm here for it. I'll see it. And maybe we'll hit on something, maybe we won't. But again, we'd love to hear other people's opinions. So let us know.
It's been pretty it's been pretty definitely very many varied viewpoints as to how people are feeling about this new movie. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not going to touch any political ideas or anything like that. That's all.
No, but what I mean is ideas. Like you have people that are very almost offended at the idea of a Scream 7 with some of these people coming back. Then you have people that are optimistic about it or what they could possibly do with it. And I'm just gonna go over here and just watch it and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe this will be the last Scream movie. I don't know, because we had 3, then 4, which was just random by itself, and then we have these 3. So, because they're just going to get worse as time goes on, because I don't think Friday the 13th 7 is very good, or 8. So let's just...
as long as people are paying to see them, they're going to keep making them, and then give it some time and they'll come back.
They can take my money, but
we're in this kind of renaissance of 90s reboot nostalgia. We're getting an Idle Hands movie, we're getting a Final Destinations movie. There's something else, I think. Disturbing Behavior, that they announced that's going to be
really. Wow,
we do not need that. Thank you.
wait, which one's Disturbing Behavior? Is that the one
that was
with
one
Elijah Wood?
No, that's the Faculty.
Faculty. Sorry, Faculty.
Yeah.
which I'm kind of interested in that.
I mean, they both came out in the mid to late 90s around the same time, so it's easy to get those mixed up.
I mean, we're
but
getting
no.
a lot of sequels from legacy movies 28 years later. I know
Mhm.
you did last summer.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
So also I think because every studio now has like a streaming thing, so they're just like opening the gates to get content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but it's okay though, because I think sometimes too you're getting people that make those movies as a labor of love. Like they loved the original. I Know You Did Last Summer. Maybe it was their gateway horror, and now they wanted another filmmaker and want to do something that pays tribute to that. So I think it's it's better than remakes. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's better than a reboot or a late sequel is better than a remake generally.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's good, I don't care how you do it. Just make it good.
I want them to try remaking Nightmare on Elm Street again because the remake was so bad in
was horrible.
2010.
I still stand by that. Last season of Stranger Things was kind of those brothers saying, "Hey, you should let us make a Nightmare on Elm Street movie because it's basically what we did in this TV show." And I think that would have some promise.
Yeah.
And like I think that the way to do that would be again doing not a sequel to another sequel to Nightmare on Elm Street or a reboot of that, but another new Nightmare. So like, what's Heather Langenkamp up to now? And then kind of go deep in there, go play in that playground a little bit.
I even think you could do a different Dream Demon. It wouldn't be Freddy Krueger. Name him something totally different. Go a completely different route with it.
It's his son.
I think you can't really do that because he had a daughter, and she killed him, and Freddy's dead.
We also didn't know that Sydney's mom had a son.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So you can go that route. But I think it'd be okay though to say the Dream Demons, every X amount of years they try to find a new host, and they found this other prolific murderer for whatever reason, and he's a new host, and he's gonna do what he wants to do. I think you have ways you can go about it, like because they introduced that Dream Demon slant, and I think Freddy's Dead, right? Where they introduced that slant. I think you could take that and kind of roll with it with other people becoming that Dream Demon, like fucking Ted Bundy or whatever. Who knows? I hope not.
Like I said, do whatever you want, just make it good. That's all I care about. All right. Well, Allison, thank you for joining us.
Hold on, Jason. Didn't you actually pull out a Patreon pit for this episode and ask people questions?
You are right.
I know, because I thought it was a really fun question. This is one of the few Jason questions that isn't like, after we answer this question, we're gonna have to go meditate because we feel terrible about life. So
all right, then vamp for a minute while I pull it up.
Okay. That's all I had though. You should have already had that up, Jason, if you were the host with the most.
I know. All right. So I asked our Patreon, I also asked on some of our other social media stuff, if you could have a prop from any horror movie or TV show, what would it be? Mondo and Allison, I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. But our Patreon Andy says, I'll go a bit obscure and ask for Killbot from Shopping Mall.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one, Andy. Good job. Let's see. Over on Blue Sky, I posted the same question, and let me get it back up.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I have the ones from Threads.
Oh yes, please.
One of us is prepared.
Shade
from Before the Wrath Comes. This is a cool one. I've always wanted the painting above Scatman Carruthers' bed in The Shining, and the hat he wears in the Kick the Can segment of Twilight Zone the movie. As a huge Twilight Zone and Shining fan, it's a trip to have the same black actor play such integral roles in both films.
That's a good one. That's very good.
Creepy Pod said the orca dry docked in my backyard. And then Brian Carney writes books. A fiction writer that follows us. Years ago, I was outbid when the Sleepy Hollow sign went up for auction, and I still haven't gotten over it. And he posted a picture of what sign he was actually bidding for, which is cool. Someone else posted a picture, I heart blood and guts, and I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell in my current mental state if it's a pod from like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or if it's a alien egg. It's probably an alien egg because that seems more accurate. Oh, we have a kitty cat on the screen. Yeah. For anyone listening, stop listening right now and go to YouTube and look at the kitty cat. How's the new cat doing?
He's good. He's getting a little bit braver. I've caught him hanging out in the living room a couple of times, and he snuggles with me in bed. So, yeah.
All right. I'm looking up that to see what the pod looks like.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Just keep going on with the comments.
Okay. No, I think the Heart Blood. Yeah, that's from Alien or from I Heart Blood and Guts. No, Blue Sky. We need to boost our Blue Sky followers because we haven't gotten much engagement over there. I think it's still growing. This is one. My easy answer for this one is the key from Demon Knight.
That'd be cool.
Is a prop that like because it's just it's first of all it's amazing, but also you just like kind of fit in your hands, not like too big, but it's it's got some umph to it, a little fake blood. You're good to go. Mondo, what would you want?
So it's kind of an obscure one, but from the movie The Beyond, the Book of Ibon, the book they reference in there and they show a few times throughout the movie. That would be the coolest thing I could possibly ever own from horror. Like at that point, I wouldn't need to buy anything else ever again because nothing would reach how cool that would be.
Yeah. Supposedly, Gil Adler has a storage unit in Los Angeles, and supposedly he has a bunch of props and stuff from the movies and show. And I keep asking, telling him every time he comes around, he comes into town, I'm like, hey, if you ever want to go through that storage unit, let me know, and I'll give you a hand. But
are you saying
I'll probably go out after like 10 minutes?
Are you saying you're gonna rob him? Is that what we're getting at?
No, I just want to see it.
Oh, okay.
Like if I could just see it and just have it in my hands even for like a minute, I think that'd be good.
I'm only a 4-hour drive away from you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying.
So you're both gonna rob him?
Maybe. I mean, might happen. I don't know.
I hope Gil's not listening.
Absolutely not.
No.
Never in a million years. But I just give Jason crap because Jason goes this cool stuff and just never invites me. It's fine. Even though I'm only a 4-hour drive.
You didn't invite me to go see John Carpenter. I invited myself.
Yeah, that is true. You are correct, but it's in San Diego. It's not. No, it's in Los Angeles.
It's Los Angeles.
Okay. Point taken, Jason. Point taken.
Oh, speaking of other horror news, John Carpenter is doing 4 shows this October, and Mondo and I are going to be at one of them.
We'll be the October 24th at the Belasco Theater in Los Angeles. So
I wasn't going to tell them which one.
What? Why not? Is someone out to get you?
Hey, we've got a couple months between now and the show, so who knows what's going to. Who knows what enemies we can make between now and then.
Say to get us in trouble. But the best part is, like, when we get in trouble, it's with people that I want to get in trouble with, people that I don't want listening to us. It's fantastic. It works out very, very, very well.
No, that would be the plot of a movie is podcasters going to John Carpenter's show and the killer tries to stalk them there.
I feel like with our experience though with horror movies, we'd be able to sniff this shit out like right away. I guarantee you guys have both had a scenario.
You wouldn't know you're in a horror movie though.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you both have had a scenario before where you've done something differently because you watch horror movies, and in your back of your brain it goes, I've definitely seen a horror movie that something similar happens in. I'm gonna walk that way.
I got on the subway the other night and I looked and there was a guy standing and I'm like, that's fine. And then I noticed that he has a lighter and that like he's like lighting the lighter, like turning it on and then like waving his hand over it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the other side. This is not working.
Yeah, see, your brain was like, I watch horror movies. I know that this might be a thing, and I'm just not going to be in this car. See? So, yeah.
I've totally given up on social decorum and not offending people on the subway. If somebody sits down next to me and I don't like their vibe, I'm getting up, and they can wonder why for the rest of time. So.
As a male, I would never, ever be offended because I get it. Like, I get it. Like, we suck. And even times where I've been walking home, when I travel for work, I walk a lot because I like to walk. And I'll be walking and I'll notice like I walk fast. So I'll be walking behind a woman and I will change streets. I'll go to the side of the street because I'm like, I just don't want you to feel, or I'll be like, if I can't change it, I'll be like, left, coming up on your left. Like, and then I'll go
that
around.
Might freak me out more. I don't know. Don't talk to
me. I'll just say it once. I'll be like, hey, coming on your left. Just so that if they hear me, they know I'm telling them, hey, I'm trying to get around you. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
So,
There's
I get it.
Yeah, there's the John Mulaney skit that he does where he was walking behind a woman trying to get to the subway, and she starts walking faster. So he assumes that she must hear the train, so he starts walking faster. Yeah.
No, I mean, when you're 6'4" and of my stature, I just assume that people are gonna be afraid of me anyway. So I just try to like, I'm not offended by it.
If I didn't know Jason and I was walking down the street at night and Jason was walking behind me, I would walk faster. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm walking at night and there's someone behind me and I'll look, but even so, I'll usually just pull to the side and stop until they go ahead. So
that's why I always try to say like, hey, on your left, just in case they can hear me. They know I'm trying to walk. I'm
Yeah.
not. I was in Sierra Vista, Arizona, working, and I was walking behind, and almost the same thing happened where a woman was walking in front of me. So I crossed the street, and then she had to cross the street, and then we ended up at the same hotel because we just happened to be staying at the same hotel. She got in the elevator before I did, and I just stood there. I'm just not gonna get in with you. And she goes, no, come on in. I was like, okay. And then we're getting off on the same floor. And I'm like, now this is
what a good meet cute if you were single.
right. So we get off the elevator, and I was like, hey, my hotel room is 106 or 206, whatever, right here. If you want me to go to my room first before you start walking, I get it. And she goes, no, it's okay. I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm just like literally walking right there.
You should have also given her a list of movies to watch so she makes better decisions in the future.
Because I didn't want to get on the elevator, but I'm like, well, now if I don't get on, is it weird if I don't at this point?
This sounds like something out of Strange Darling somehow.
Yeah.
It's like some scenario.
We both went to our hotel rooms. We're both here to tell the story about it. So.
Speaking of Strange Darling, I met Barbara Hershey this weekend and told her I love the breakfast she cooked.
Nice.
She didn't want to do a shout out for us, but that's okay. Neither did Alex Winter, but I did get some other.
Alex Winter didn't?
No.
Did he give you a reason?
You know what, though? In this day and age, I kind of don't blame people for not wanting to be associated with something they don't know, like what their views are.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%
I do actually respect that. And also, like, I'm not paying them for these things, and their time is money.
I respect that too.
I only go there to their tables when there's no one else there. So I'm not like taking away any business or anything. But I did go to a couple people who were very gracious, and you'll see those in the next couple weeks.
Cool.
So some people were very, very cool about it, and I chatted with them for a little bit. I won't spoil the surprise, but you'll be seeing those very soon.
You can just wear a bracelet that said "This isn't my fault" in blue, and then they'll know.
Anyways, Allison, what was your prop? We didn't get to you.
I don't know. I was trying to rack my brain and like. I don't know, but I'm just gonna say Gail Weathers' flip phone that she uses in Scream for many of the movies.
Yes.
Okay.
I just think that would be fun to have.
That green suit.
Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome.
That'd be cool. That'd be one of those cool.
You don't want Gail Weathers' bangs?
No, I'm cutting those later on myself. I hope those make an appearance in Scream 7.
Oh, that was the best part about all the news this week. People were like posting a picture of like the Creed poster in Sydney's dorm room from Scream 2 saying the Creed poster will also be in Scream 7. Someone posted like Gail Weathers' bangs will also be in Scream 7.
Yeah. This is unrelated, sort of, but if somebody could please explain to me the layout of Sydney's childhood home on Threads or Blue Sky or whatever, because how does it looks like Billy Loomis when he leaves it's on the first floor, but she runs up the stairs to the fake.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm a big fan of the Dead Meat podcast, and they did a YouTube video where they actually got to stay and get a tour of the Sydney's home.
It's cool.
And they actually showed like a lot, because a lot of the rooms, like the one where she loses her virginity, is like actually like 2 rooms or something like that. There's like rooms that are like actually much bigger, but they only film it from certain angles, so it looks like a small room. So yeah, it's very cool to see like the layout and stuff. But yeah, a lot of that is just kind of movie magic. So, all right, well, that wraps up another episode. Allison, thank you for joining us. Where can people follow you?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me back.
And not too closely behind.
What?
he could not follow you from behind. Like,
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, thank you. Except for the next time you guys come to New York City, let me know. You can find me at who'stherepodcast.com. That's where my show is. I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram at Who's There PC. Yeah, you can just follow me over there. And if you're a horror fan or you have a horror movie coming out, shoot me an email and let's get you on the show.
Are you
Definitely.
still TikToking?
Meh, not really. I don't know. It's just all go to shit. So I don't know.
I mean,
Well.
that statement can be used for a lot of things right
I
now.
was gonna say. Well, I appreciate it for listening. Hopefully, we didn't bring you down too much. Hopefully, got some yucks, whatever. Just keep going, man.
I
Just
feel
keep on
attacked.
keeping
I don't
on.
know why I feel attacked.
We would also appreciate if you would give us a rating and review on iTunes. We haven't got an iTunes rating in a minute, so if please come on, give us a rating.
Help some friends out, man. Especially if you're also not happy what's currently going on, just give us a little 5-star review, so maybe we'll pop up on more of your friends' feeds and not some right wing whatever stuff.
Yeah. Okay, and a rating on Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. Whatever.
Jason has given up.
I know. I just like the name so much. Every time I say it, it just makes me smile and giggle to myself. And sometimes you just need that.
It's good. It's a good name.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'll have to figure out something else to use it for. Anyways, with that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.